live from Tennessee, from the east to the west. We are talking Cowboys everything. And you just entered
the Cowboy Zone.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cowboy Zone. This is Marcus Jones coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee.
And this is Lambo from Cowboys, y'all, out of Johnson City, Tennessee.
All right, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And as you see, we have a third person with us. We have a very special guest coming to us out of Ohio, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You guys, I'm sure you all know him as Big Game James, Silver and Blue Nation, Late Night Hype. What's going on, Big Game?
Not too much. Just out here chilling, Appreciate the invite. We're out here talking, see what's up on this Cowboys football.
Oh, man,
what's up? We're glad to have you, man. And I see everybody getting in here quick. Bear Gang's in the building. What's up, Brian?
As always, first one in. All right, guys. Jeff, thank you for joining us. I see YouTube is back up and popping, so we appreciate you guys joining us on YouTube. William, as always, appreciate your support. It looks like I see the Cowboys Zone T-shirt as your profile picture. So make sure you send us a picture of you wearing the shirt and tag us in it. And as always, Mendoza, shouting out them Ohio boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm a Texas boy, but I've been out here Ohio part of half of my life too, because my mother was from here. So got a fellow family down here, both in Texas and Ohio. So I'm gonna claim both, but I'm representing the 817 to the fullest.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Thank you for joining us, Roger Taiwan. As usual, appreciate you for joining. I hope that sweatshirt came. Let us know if you got the sweatshirt that I sent you last week. And also make sure you tag us in the picture. I see Lambo repping the Cowboys Zone tonight with his sweatshirt.
I might have to take it off, though. It's getting hot in here. What's up, Lamar?
Talking about this Cowboy stuff makes you hot, huh?
Yeah, well, I turned the fan off because this microphone's so sensitive. You'll hear. So, ain't trying to have all that noise in the background. Jeff said he's waiting on his Cowboy Zone gear.
Jeff will be all right. Let's go ahead and get started. Got a lot of stuff to talk about on our special bye-week edition of the Cowboy Zone. Like I said before, we don't have a game this week, so we had to bring in one of the experts to come in and talk some Cowboy football with us. So we got Big Game James joining us for the show. And I know you probably got a lot to do, so we'll get right into it. We'll start off first with the game from Sunday against the Steelers. I mean, we lost the game, but I'm sure you were as shocked as a lot of us were in how the guys came out and looked. So just give us a couple of your positives from the game or some of the notes that kind of stood out to you.
Well, first, I'm not going to say I was shocked because before the game, probably maybe a few times before I did a few shows, and I had looked at the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, and I said our defense can compete with them. I knew they had a very good defense, but it wasn't a defense you couldn't score on. But we all knew about the front, how they blitzed, how they attacked, how they had a lot of good guys on the front. Watt, Dupree. Hey, we knew about those guys. Fitzpatrick. We knew about those guys. But when you looked at their offense, they had James Conner. He's a good back, but he's not devastating to me. Juju Schuster, he's up and down. And we've seen Claypool that he's been stepping up as a rookie, getting the 5 touchdowns ahead of time, before us. And he's been a big asset, but it was still not an explosive type offense. The offensive line had struggled. So I felt we could compete defensively. My main thing was, what could we do on offense? Could we score points? I think that was the thing that was surprising to me, because I can't lie. I'm a Texas guy, Texas fan, and I seen Garrett Gilbert. He was okay, but I seen him transfer, and he never really had an NFL career. He did over at the AAF. So, my thought was, I don't really know what I'm going to see of him. I don't know what he's going to really do for the offense because of the way the whole team has played as a whole. But he went out there. What shocked me was the poise that he showed instantly, showing poise in the pocket. There was I think he had 3 carries for 28 yards, and they were good scrambles. Got us, I believe, a couple first downs with the scrambles. Like I said, he tend to hone in on his receivers later on. But he was moving the offense, what we hadn't seen in a long time. Got our first real legitimate touchdown to CD Lamb. So that was a huge positive for me. Tony Pollard was another positive for me because I wanted to see him. No shade on Zeke, but I wanted to see what he could do with a full load. He still has 7 carries for 59 yards. We saw explosiveness, a run, I believe, for 20 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way he was hitting the hole. I like the way the defense played as a whole, together as a unit, the scheme. DeMarcus Lawrence said he liked the way the coaches put him in the positions to make plays. So that's 2 back-to-back weeks where you had some turnovers, you had some pressures, you had some sacks, and you had the defense that was holding the offense to low points at halftime. That's what we hadn't seen. We've seen these teams scoring multiple touchdowns, 20, 30, 25 points on us at halftime. This is 2 back-to-back weeks where the defense held their offense in checks, and that was a huge positive for me.
Definitely. And all I could think about the whole game was like, damn, where was this at when Dak was on the field?
Right.
Man.
Yeah, that's a very frustrating part because, too many times Dak gets the shade and the hate, which I don't understand why. I'm at my cousin's house right now. He's a Colts fan. He's running his yip. How about Dak and Zeke? He's over here running his jap, and it's just the truth. And I'm just telling them. And it's no hate, but Dak is the engine, and it's just the truth. And it's no hate. But Dak is the guy we've seen. Yeah. Every year, it just keeps improving. He comes out there and plays phenomenal and still highly ranked after missing like 4 or 5 games. Still highly ranked.
Yeah.
And it's just it's frustrating to see. Damn, you had that defense playing like this. If Dak had that dog, we win.
Exactly. And at least Jerry said the right thing not long ago when they was talking about if we have a top 3 pick, could we see a quarterback or whatever it was? And Jerry said, no, Dak's the quarterback. So I was glad.
I'll see about that. I
we'll
don't
see.
trust the Joneses. We'll see. They say a lot of things to me. It is what it is. You should already did that, but y'all said y'all was going to sign him before. So, yes, I want him back, but I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about that, and we'll see.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. But like you said, it was a big surprise seeing how Gilbert played. I was honestly expecting us to lose by double-digit scores and quite a beating, to be completely honest. I know there was a few that had it close, but I thought it wasn't going to be close at all. So I'm kind of upset about what's coming out with Andy Dalton, though, with them going right back to him as the starter. What do you think about that?
Well, I think the reason why they're doing that, well, at least Stephen Jones, in my opinion, is because they're going to play to the fans, in my opinion. They're still going to play to the fans and say, we're in this mathematically. We're still in this. We're still fighting. We can still win a division. We can still come out of this. Mm-hmm. So they're going to say we brought Andy Dalton in for a reason, and it was to help this team if Dak went out. And, it's just the way they're going to spin it. And until I feel like we're mathematically out of it, that's when you might see a Garrett Gilbert back in the lineup. Until that time, I think that's where they're going to go because they feel like they brought him in for that reason. And my personal opinion, Andy Dalton's not going to be here next year.
Yeah.
This is a player, Garrett Gilbert, you can at least see it could be a backup for you if he continues to get good work behind a Dak Prescott if you go that route like you should. Right. Now Garrett Gilbert, who is not like he's 22, he's an older kid.
Yeah, he's 29. Yeah, 29.
Yeah, so he's been around the block as far as years. So that's somebody you can look at that if he can play like this, that can win games for you. You can feel confident he can win a couple games for you if something like this were to happen down the line because Andy Dalton's not going to be here. And really, is Andy Dalton taking us anywhere? I mean, I don't know.
Right.
No.
I totally doubt that.
Yeah.
He's never did it before with good teams at Cincinnati. Now you're going to come with okay team at Dallas. Now you're going to all of a sudden win games? All right.
Yeah.
Let's take it back to the defense because I know you like my guy. Everybody else calls him the Canadian Bulldozer, but you call him the Gala Monster.
That's the Gala Monster, dog.
Right. Neville Gallimore. He had a hell of a game. Like, he lived in the backfield. He was blowing up plays on 3rd and 1. He got a couple of good hits on Ben. A couple of weeks ago, the coaches came out and said he wasn't ready. Why do you think they would not give him a chance earlier? Because he looked great. I don't buy into that. A D tackle's not ready hype.
Well, I mean, I think the only reason why they said that because he had slow recognition. I mean, you've seen him play early in the season. He was slowly. I mean, honestly, big dog. If you really look at him to where he started at the beginning of the season, it looks like he's recognizing plays quicker. He's hitting people at the point of attack quicker. Because I saw it in the 2 plays where he stuffed those guys in Pittsburgh. I wasn't seeing that early in the year. He wasn't diagnosing those plays, and I feel like, you're still coming in. He played, in Canada, and when he was at Oklahoma, he wasn't really at the right position at Oklahoma. So I feel like they were trying to slowly bring him along. But the one thing I loved about him, and I think this overcomes certain things, is the effort. He's a guy that gives that all-out effort. We saw that when they drafted him, when the videos, he's just somebody that's an energy effort guy. And sometimes that effort takes over. And I feel like him getting that more playing time as well brings it out of you. You continue to play better. Now you feel like, okay, certain players gone now. Now I'm going to play more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If this guy is here and I'm only getting a few snaps, maybe I'm not recognizing the play and I might mess up. The coach has a shorter leash with me because I can go back to this guy. Now this guy is gone. I got to rely on you. So now you start playing better because you're playing more.
Most definitely.
Yep.
And we talk about the guy that plays next to him, Antoine Woods. He's been kind of quiet this year, but he's been very solid for us. Of course, everybody knows he's on the last year of his deal, 1-year deal. Do you think we find any way to bring him back next year, or we're going to roll with the 2 young guys in Hill and Gallimore?
I mean, me personally, I would roll with Hill and Gallimore, and this is no shade on Woods. I mean, I just feel like they still need to go in the draft and get a guy because I just don't feel like Woods has that full size when you double team him because he's not a big guy as far as height wise. I mean, he does have good strength and he has a great, he'll fight you, but you get 2 guys on him all game, he just tends to wear down. And that's when you'll see it later in the 3rd and 4th quarters. And then the offensive linemen are getting to the second level and Pill and Jalen. And we already know how that goes. And it's just, it becomes I'm just saying, how we see how it goes. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why. And I'm frustrated because now the defense is playing better. You removed a Poe. Now I wish a Tristan Hill didn't get hurt because I'd love to see him in this lineup now next to a Gallimore and Woods because I feel like Tristan Hill would be even better.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. All right, so let's keep the talk on the defensive line. And I got to go to my right defensive end, Mr. Randy Gregory. By the way, you got a Gregory nickname? I've never heard you use one.
That damn Ben.
He got one for everybody, folks. So Randy Gregory missed the first 6 weeks, came back, hadn't really got those sacks yet, but the pressures have been amazing. Yes. Like every time you see him over there, he's making a tackle, he's living in the backfield. Do you think we bring him and keep him around for a couple more years as well?
Hell yes. Hell yes. We have to. I mean, it's almost like you kept him this long and he hasn't cost you anything. Right. It hasn't cost you anything. You kept him this whole time. And he's 27 going on 28, but he's that no tread on the tires 28. You know what I mean? And let him get on the field. And we seen the only thing that was the issue. We seen the documented issues, but that is no longer the issue as a whole for the NFL. So that shouldn't be the problem because there was no other problems outside of that. And if you're just focusing on football and let this man play, we see the more snaps he gets. I think he started out with 6. Next game he had 31, and this past game he had 40 snaps. I believe he had 5 pressures, 4 hurries, 1 hit, and had 2 tackles. And that's with extended play. And you just see, like you said, I mean, he had a monstrous hit on Ben on one play where he put him in the ground. The one play where he threw deep, and it was Woods and Diggs. They almost should have had that interception on the deep pass. He was there with the pressure, making Ben get rid of it early. And I saw Ben getting rid of it early toward the 3rd quarter because Randy was getting that instant pressure. And that's what we've been missing. I love Alden Smith. I love what he brings. But when you see Alden Smith, just in my opinion, Alden Smith is big and strong now. He doesn't have that Randy Gregory does when he's coming off that edge. You get what I'm saying? And you saw it more when they were going on third downs, on the passing downs. Anytime they were going in shotgun, you start seeing Randy Gregory more because he was going to bring you that instant pressure. So definitely bring him back. Definitely try to sign him now while he's cheap. You have to do that because he's a building block.
Yeah, for sure. And guys, keep bringing those great comments. We got Big Game James in the building. We're definitely going to hit your comments, but Big Game is spitting facts right now. We don't want to mess his flow up. We got to keep him going. Let them keep putting it out there. All right, so we've been talking about a lot of positives from this game. Now we got to talk about a couple of negatives. And for me, the biggest negatives I noticed were play calling, because this was one of those first games where on both sides of the ball, it looked like everybody was zoned into the game. But then, for example, we go into the fourth quarter and we finally get in the red zone. Zeke busts with 2 big runs. It's 1st and goal. We run the ball for 4 yards, and then we do back-to-back passes and throw a pick. And then you go back to another time we got around the 30, and then we do the little, what we've been calling the cute plays with the little tight end screen pass. What is it about Kellen Moore that you think makes him forget how to call the game once he gets inside of what they call the green zone inside the 30? Like, what do you think that issue is? Because it bothers me.
You know, I think it's bothering a lot of people. I'm a Kellen Moore guy. I do. Right. I like Kellen Moore. I'm sorry. You know, if people don't like that, hey, that's your opinion. I like Kellen Moore, but I will agree with that he has the really. Why did you do that? I did the video with the Eagles game where it was just like, why? I get it, but why? You get what I'm saying? We just got the big turnover. We just got the big interception. We're driving all the way down the field. We don't need that. You get what I'm saying? And just like you said, you got 4 yards with Zeke. You could have brought in Tony Pollard. He's been getting that juice up in the middle. You could have kept running the ball. It's like, and you got Garrett Gilbert. You don't got Dak Prescott. And you don't even got Andy Dalton. You got a 4th stringer. You really trusting him right now to complete passes in the red zone? He's still Garrett Gilbert. So, yes, that frustrates me that you do that. And sometimes I'll be wanting Mike McCarthy to go over there and be like, hey, no. Do this. You feel what I mean? I know you the play caller, but coach can come over there and talk to you too. It's okay. Yeah. Maybe you need to start doing that. But yeah, I don't know what's up with that cute thing. It's like when you got something rolling and you don't have your top guys, why be goofy and do something silly and just mess up the whole flow? Because you have it right there. But I am frustrated that you didn't get that holding call. I'm not the penalty guy. I'm not the crime penalty guy. But daggone, that's obvious. And you know if we're doing it, you grabbing it, that's obvious. That hurts the team. That's a first down.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
You know what's crazy, too, something I'd seen is that teams – or how was it worded? I think I have it right here. Cowboys' opponents are averaging 39 penalty yards per game this season, that's the fewest in the NFL through week 9. So it's just like something about when teams play us. The flags don't get thrown unless it's on us.
I don't, like I said, I'm not the penalty guy. I'm not the guy to try to use the penalties as excuse. But sometimes when you just look at it, you're like, come on, man. Like, you know, when it's crazy because the long pass where we had the 3 and out on Pittsburgh, and then they threw the flag on the hit with Jalen. It was like once they threw it, and we just sat there and waited. Okay. We don't see nothing. There it is. I mean, it's like now if we're all sitting there and doing that's and it happens, that's real.
Mm-hmm. And then you see the same thing happen in reverse, but nothing.
Right. And it's just like it's obviously, and even when Dak was there, Dak used to get beat up. And we can never get the flag on Dak. But you get these other quarterbacks. I mean, honestly, you threw a personal foul on Randy Gregory for hitting Big Ben where his hips were and tackled him, and you gave him a personal foul? Man, y'all tripping.
That was ridiculous.
That was crazy to me. He hit. I mean, there was nowhere where he hit him in his knees. That was a regular tackle, and they called a personal foul.
Yeah, that had me a little amped. I'm not gonna lie.
Choir today, you preaching to the choir.
Yeah, man.
Now let's take it to the defensive side in terms of play calling. Now, again, the players were in the game this game, and we were putting pressure on Big Ben. And at the end of halftime, he was noticeably limping, almost pretty much on both legs. Why didn't we bring the pressure on him in that situation? Because we weren't going to stop those receivers. Why didn't we just try to knock them out the game?
Hey, you spitting fire to me on these last two. That's a why. I'm all about pressure. I'm pressure. I'm probably the anti guy you want. I'm probably like, hey man, stop because you getting us in trouble. You blitzing every damn down. I'm that dude. Okay, so you asking the wrong person, big dog. I'm the guy that wants to keep and I'm totally feeling. You saw. We were doing a broadcast from Mason. What is it, Mason Rudolph? Is that his name?
Yeah, Mason Rudolph.
Okay, he comes in the game. He's hot trash. He's not a good quarterback. You saw how the offense looked exactly, and I was like, okay, now we definitely got a chance because we definitely can beat them with Mason Rudolph in there because he's not good at quarterback. I seen him limping early, just like you said. He's limping. You know he don't want to come out of this game. Attack him, blitz him, come after him, just like you said. I mean. Maybe they were a little worried because how Trevin Diggs had the injury,
Right.
And then maybe they're not trusting. You're not trusting Xavier Woods. Okay, you got Darian Thompson out there now. You feel me? Like I don't trust my back end. I got Savion Smith in here now. Cheeto's not here.
Yeah.
Stephen Parker.
They had Stephen Parker playing corner.
So you know what I mean? It's hard to really attack when you got these guys that you got Schuster on them. Yeah, they may not be having a great year, but they're gonna cook these guys.
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely. All right, Lambo, you got anything else about? Before we leave the Steelers game, we got to talk about our special teams coach. And thanks, Lamar, for catching that for us.
That was nice. Cedric
positive.
Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, that was a beautiful play.
That was the end. Oh man, I thought he was gonna take it to the house. I really did. Then you got that little so block in the back.
Yeah, that was whack too. That was terrible too.
Dude's like, I'm gonna turn and flop a little.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, man, let it go. It's too beautiful a play. Sometimes this is like that ticky tack, and you're a ref. Let that go. Let this play be good. But I was in love with it. I was excited. I was like, wow, can we get more of this? I don't mean that you do trickery, everything, but just the excitement it brought, just on the sideline. To me, this was the most animated to me on the sideline that I had seen the team. And that's what excited me the most because we had all been talking about before those games that we have been lacking the effort, the excitement. Where is that at? From the team. And I think that's what really excited me, in turn with the special teams, seeing Mike McCarthy get animated. I don't need to have the coach animated to prove everything. Right. But Mike is a guy that I like him. He does get at the refs. And I think he saw a lot of these calls like, come on, man, we tired of this. Like, I'm coming after you. And I like seeing that because it does get your team hyped. Like, come on, man, let's go out there and fight. And I think the team kind of followed it. And I think that's why you saw a lot of the fight from the team all the way to the end.
It was beautiful. I remember as soon as I seen Goodwin start pulling up, like I couldn't even look at the rest of the play.
Nice.
I was just watching the whole way down, and I thought he was legit hurt. I was like, oh snap, Goodwin's hurt. And then when he kept running, I was like, hold up, something's weird. Why is he still running down to the right side of the field? Yeah. And then I was just like, as soon as I seen Cedric Wilson go a couple yards up, I was like, oh, here it comes. Man, that was nice. That was nice, though.
That was a beautiful thing. Like, that's what you get excited about because that's what we've been missing with Cowboys football with special teams. We haven't seen that in special teams in 18 million years. So any tiny little thing that we get from special teams, we do cartwheels and backflips over.
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we move forward, I got to give a shout out to some of our viewers who are leaving these great comments. Jack Meeker, thank you for hopping in with us. Yvonne Lopez, thank you for joining us. Cole, I think I missed you earlier, but as always, we appreciate your support. Anybody else? Tootie Winder, thank you. It's a new name, so we appreciate you joining us tonight for this episode. And also Andre Anulak, thank you for joining us as well. So before we leave the Steelers game and move forward, I hadn't noticed this, but has Rico Dowdle been playing kick return in games in the past, or was this just a one-time thing? Because he looked really good.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not seen him in
That's
there.
first.
But that dude, please figure a way out to get him on there again. That speed I saw, I was like, man, damn, whoa,
Right.
where he been? You know what I'm saying? We ain't been playing good. He should have been out there trying to return a kick out there. He showed explosiveness, but once again, fellas, I think that's a thing where you're seeing the young talent, where it's undrafted rookie free agent or rookies that we got out there, the young players. They want to get some time. It's a new regime, okay? It's a lot of the old regime as far as with Garrett players. Now you got McCarthy. He has this draft for 2020. These guys want to play, and it's good because when you see these young guys, they have that. I want to get on the field. I want to make plays, and you that's what you want to see, especially with our record. So hopefully this is something that you can see going forward. Maybe you can implement them in that special teams. Maybe you can get them more on some kickoff returns. Maybe you can do some more trick plays with them. You get what I'm saying? Now maybe you can open up some doors to get more versatile in your play calling as far as in your special teams as well. So I think that could be a hidden gem for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm looking for any positives with that.
Yeah.
But I definitely love the run he came with, and let's see more of some of that.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
with
That's
that
the first time I've noticed him out there on kick return.
And with that explosiveness, I need to see a couple of offensive plays as well.
Hell yeah.
He was I think it was only one carry, but if you remember, he had a carry earlier in the year, and he looked really solid on just that. I know it was just a carry, but he looked really good when he did get that carry. I'd like to see him get a few touches on offense, to be honest.
He closed out the Eagles game. Like, I think it was 2 carries.
Yeah, it was 1 or 2 carries, but he looked good in the limited time he was on the field.
He has some explosiveness, and that's what you like.
All right, so guys, that's it for the Steelers game. We're putting that one in the past, and now we're going to move forward through this bye week. And as usual, we always started off with a few of the major storylines.
Storylines.
All right, so now we got to come to the first storyline of the night, and this one is a bit of sad news. We just found out that we lost Trayvon Diggs, probably for the rest of the season, with a broken foot. Man, he was having. What do you? First of all, what do you think about the year he's had so far? If you had to give him a grade as a rookie, what would you give him as a grade?
I know people are going to go hard on him because he gave us some touchdowns and coverage plays, but I'm gonna give him a B minus. I'm gonna still give him a B, keep him in a B minus because it's close to that C plus. But I don't care for him to be out there on the island. Why I'm still giving him a B because put him out there on the island. He didn't have a Byron Jones coming back to him. He was basically it was Cheeto, it was these other guys, and then he just kept climbing from, I wanted him all the way through the draft. He was my draft pick from day one. Okay, so I thought they was gonna bring him along slowly, but when you just saw him instantly, it was like, no, I need this guy to. Sorry about that. I need this guy to play, and for him to be going against all these receivers, these haven't been bum receivers, fellas.
No,
these been good receivers.
He's had a tough task.
And they've been putting him on islands. It's not like he hasn't been having safety help. Where's this guy been having a good safety over top to where he can feel like I can play some good bump and run? Now, do I get frustrated when they don't put his hands? He didn't do that at Alabama, and I got frustrated. I talked about that on the tape because these guys are faster in NFL, and once they get past you, that trailing, that's not going to be good for you. So you got to get your hands. You're physical, and you're a big corner. So that's the only thing that frustrates. But when you're a corner and you don't have a guy over top that that's going to help you, it's harder. So to me, he's battled. And to get them 2 interceptions, and he should have 5.
Yeah.
Should have 5.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That dude is going to be an animal for us. And let's get some more players around him to make him even better. He's going to be even nastier. If he can get a nasty safety over top that can really protect him too, watch how much nastier he's going to be.
I'm so excited about next year. I know it's still this year, but I have trouble not even thinking about next year. I think about it every day because we seen what the offense was doing with Dak on the field, and you're talking about that we had basically the number 1 offense without 2 starting tackles for most of the year. So you imagine getting them back, getting Dak back. We're still gonna have the receiving core. We're gonna have Jarwin and Schultz out there. Who Schultz is a pleasant surprise this year, And then talking about the young guys on defense that are all stepping up and getting all this playing time. And like you said, you add a safety over the top, you get a Wouzier back, you get Diggs back. Man, I think it's going to be real special next year. We're going to have a special season next year.
I mean, let's hope. I mean, guys got to be healthy.
Yeah,
my guy, Big Boss Cowboy, shout out to you, Boss Cowboys. He brought something up really huge. I think he was there, Bluff City, when you was telling me, when he was talking about the strength and conditioning coach, the first year strength and conditioning coach. That's something I'm looking at now. I don't care. I'm looking at it now. I haven't seen this many kind of injuries in a very long time in Dallas. And I already knew there was going to be injuries with COVID. We had all talked about that before that. We knew this was going to be an injury-riddled season during COVID. We knew that. But this is crazy with Dallas. So, yeah, I'm going to definitely keep my eye on this because I haven't seen that. So if that continues going into the next year and it's under this guy, that needs to be looked at and needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Now,
sure.
This is the messed up part about the strength and conditioning coach. I don't think Boss brought this up, but I don't think we brought a new strength and conditioning coach in. This was a guy who was
you sure? Because I think is he?
If it's a if you know what he looks like, is he a tall black guy with a bald head?
Yeah.
He was under the last strength and conditioning coach. So he's not
he?
a brand new guy.
He got promoted.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, maybe he shouldn't have got promoted.
Right. Yeah, it's a little. There's too many injuries. It's extreme.
Maybe he shouldn't have got it. I'm just saying. Maybe he shouldn't have just got past the job. Maybe they should have looked a little longer.
Exactly. Because you can't keep seeing the same injuries and you decide we're going to keep somebody from that staff.
You feel me? Like, nah, man, nah.
All right, so somebody put a question up for you. We kind of talked about it already when we talked about the Steelers game, but my guy Cole wants to know, how short is the leash on Andy Dalton when we come back from this bye week?
I think it is going to be definitely shorter because Gigi showed something. I called him Go Gadget Gilbert. He showed me something, you know what I mean? So, but I think they're still going to look at Andy Dalton as won games. Gilbert has not won games in NFL. Dalton has, and he's won with good teams. He's won. He hasn't won in the playoffs, but he has won games, and they're going to lean on that, and they're going to say, hey, he's the veteran, so he's going to be the starter. And I feel like they're going to stay with him, in my opinion, until they're mathematically out of the playoffs and they don't feel like they have a chance. Because then they can go to Gilbert and say, well, now we can see what maybe you can do from here and beyond, because Dalton's not going to be with us, and there's no importance to play him. You're out of it. But I feel like Stephen Jones is going to keep spinning that. We're in it, so we're going to roll with Dalton.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, so we got one more storyline that just dropped today. It's kind of a small one, but kind of important to us Cowboy fans.
Rondell?
Yeah, we just picked up Rondell Carter. For you guys,
Yes.
He was our undrafted free agent, highly sought after, chose to come here.
Mm-hmm.
For some strange reason, we decided not to make him one of the 5 guys on the practice squad that we would protect. And the coach immediately jumped in on him.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's back. So do you think we see him on the field? Because we haven't seen Bradley or not yet.
Oh, man, that's frustrating because just you mentioning Bradley and not touching the field is crazy. Like, I get it in their head. I get it. Well, one pass rushing snap here and there, like, just rush the passer. Well, you can't do that. Come on. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So that's frustrating because I just feel like, okay, we're in it. You're saying that, but you can still stick him in there a few plays in a 9. And if you're going to bring this kid Carter back, don't bring him back just to sit him. The kid is hungry. That's why he said, I want to go play somewhere and get some time because I want to play. Let's see what you got in him. I mean, you're not going to kill yourself throwing him a bone here and there, and then you throw him a bone and he show you something. Hey, you never know. You got a bunch of young guys. I love seeing if the team is not good, fellas, I want to see some young, exciting guys on here from guys are building for the future. Okay, let's see these young guys that are out there playing with their mind out of their head, playing crazy, wild, throwing themselves everywhere. I want to see it. These guys might be really hungry. We need some hunger on this team. Too many times Dallas Cowboys are lackadaisical. I want to see some hunger. So if these young kids are coming in there hungry and fighting for positions, let them play.
Yeah, we need the passion out there, man. We need that Des mentality on the defense side.
Now, during warm-ups in the game, and William, thank you for bringing this up about this. Tyler B got hurt, and we haven't heard anything else about how long we think that injury will last. It's a hamstring injury, so it could go 2 weeks. Joe Looney was his first week back. He got his starting spot back. If he comes back after the bye, who do you think starts at center?
You got to play Biadish. That's your guy for the future. Put him back there. Don't take his confidence away because he got hurt. Let him get back in there and take his starting position back. Joe Looney is a career backup. You know what I'm saying? Right. What are you using?
Yeah.
No hate on Joe. No hating on Joe Looney. But why? Are you going to keep Joe Looney? Is he going to be your starting center in the future? So what you going to keep starting him for? You need to see what you got Biadish. Biadish need to get all the work he can going into your next season. That's frustrating me even with Connor McGovern. Like the 2 games that he got in there, that especially that Washington game, I keep harping on it. I saw power. I saw people not moving Connor McGovern. Yes, he wasn't the greatest his first game, but that wasn't a weak off defensive front against Washington, and he was moving those guys with power. Connor Williams continues to still have problems with that. And you see where we struggle at on tackle with athletic and even technique. Then why don't you slide him out there and move Steele? Like, even if you want to keep Steele as your swing tackle for the future, you're not hurting his feelings. He played 7, 8 damn games. How are you hurting his feelings now, man? He's leading the league in damn everything. Sacks, pressures, everything.
Yeah.
So if you hurting yourself by slating Connor Williams at tackle because that's where he played. He gonna be any worse than Terrence Steele? Stop it, Joe Philman. Don't tell me he's gonna be any worse than Terrence Steele. And you're gonna tell me you're not gonna see what you have in Connor McGovern, your 3rd round pick,
right
at left guard.
Exactly.
He was your rookie last year. He didn't. So this is his rookie year. Yeah. See what you have because he wasn't terrible. Let him grow and see. Damn, if you do bring a Tyron Smith, this could be a guy that you have a stout person and it maybe helps Tyron Smith too if he's okay from his injury. Why aren't you thinking like that?
That's what we've been saying all season. I've been saying move Connor Williams to right tackle. See if he he was a good tackle in college. He's a horrible left guard. Or he has been a horrible left guard. And Connor McGovern showed a ton of promise. Put Connor McGovern at left guard, bounce Connor Williams out at right tackle, and he's not going to be worse than Steele at right tackle.
Right. I mean, the name of the game was putting your 5 best linemen on the field. They're not living up to that saying. Yeah. And the thing that bothers me when you hear fans speak and somebody hears something in the fan sphere and everybody runs with it as the truth. And the thing people say is Connor Williams' arms are too short. Connor Williams' arms are 1/4 of an inch shorter than Lyle Collins. His arms are longer than Zach Martin's. So we need to stop killing that. We need to kill that arms too short noise. This is just one of those things that we see all the time with this team, that somebody's too stubborn to make a change that needs to be changed with Connor Williams. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that is as well. I'll be guilty of the arm thing until I had to go back and people told me about it. I went back. I was like, yeah, let me investigate. I had to do just a lot of investigating, a lot of searching. So I'll be guilty and said I did the arm thing. I will. But then, like I said, you see a Zach Martin go out there, kick right out there at tackle, and his doesn't have the long arms. And guess what he did? He looked good. The offense actually moved the ball when he kicked there at right tackle, and it settled down for Dak Prescott. He could actually do his thing. So yes, that is true. What it is. It's just like, to me, I don't know if it's. I've been doing this for 20 years. You don't tell me.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but I don't know the Terrence Steele sponsor. I don't get it, especially when you're quick to yank everybody else. You're quick to, people giving up touchdowns, people not blocking, and you want to do that, but Terrence Steele keeps standing there, and I just don't know where you hurting yourself by sitting them down and saying, you know what? Because this is also my opinion. I've been a Brandon Knight guy. I've been that from day one when he came into camp last year, day one. And I said beginning of this year that he should be the swing tackle. A lot of people scoffed at me. I got a Jesse Holly, and he remembered. I was like, yeah, you remember when I told you, dog, he should be the swing tackle. You know what I'm saying? So he gets healthy. He should go back at right tackle, and you should sit Terrence Steele. So if you're gonna kick Cam Irving, because Cam Irving hasn't played bad, fellas. Not in my opinion. I thought he was gonna play terrible. Okay,
Yeah, we did too.
If you watch this show, you know I bag. I don't even say his name anymore. That's how much I don't like.
I just think he's atrocious, but he's held his own these 2 games. So if you were to keep him at left tackle, then sit Terrence Steele down and get some stability, because still, this is only second year of Brandon Knight. So it's not like you have a 5-year guy in him as well. Mm-hmm. He could be your swing tackle. We know he's not the most athletic guy, but he fights. You know what I mean? Yeah. He fights. And that's what you like, and that's what you want on your offensive line moving forward.
Most definitely. Man, I'm telling you, preach it to the choir tonight.
Like Cole said, spitting straight fire.
Most definitely.
Appreciate you, Cole.
All right, so we got one more bye week storyline, then we'll kind of look forward into some other topics. And Lambo, I know you'll be pleased to hear about this one. It looks like we got a punter competition.
Oh.
Between the punter we had last week, and somebody finally gave Marquette King a chance. Now, Lambo's been howling Marquette King since
the offseason
last year. That's his guy, even before Chris Jones got hurt.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about Marquette King and kind of his background? And
I know his background. I know he's like a wild dude. I love his attitude. I love everything about him. Get him on the team, sign him, whatever. He's gonna give us some of that. Give us some of that swag. You know what I mean?
He's got that swag.
We need to bring that back to Dallas. It's like we lost it. It's like we the Cowboys. We need to bring that back. So let him get out there, sign him, let him have his fun. You could definitely do some damn trick plays with his ass. Excuse my language, with himself. You know what I mean? You could do some stuff with him, because he looks like the guy I definitely like to do that. So I believe that would just bring some more excitement to Dallas. We need some of that right now. Bring him in, sign him. Whatever, you ain't doing no worse. Like we all talked about, Chris Jones is hitting like 37, 39-yard average. Come on, man. You ain't killing yourself by doing it with King. So let's get some flair and dare in there.
And you know he's going to be cheap, because the average pay of XFL players is like $55,000 a season. So, I mean, and he was willing to do that. So he led, and he was still good in the XFL last year. He should have been in the NFL, but he led in average yards there. And even if you go back to his previous seasons, like in the NFL, and compare him to Chris Jones and how Chris Jones has been declining the past couple of years. I mean, you could go back his last couple of years in the NFL, and he's getting 34 punts inside the 20, 40 punts inside the 20. You know, he's way up there. Chris Jones is averaging like 17, 18 inside the 20 a season, and his average is way below. And Marquette King's a guy that's got a 5-second hang time, so. Yeah, I think he'll win the job and end up being our punter to finish the season out. At least I hope so.
You see, Lambo got all the sacks in order for Marquette King, don't you?
Yeah, he came.
I like him.
Look, he was ready. Like he came all the way with it. And you know, not just that, he's playing for the Cowboys. I think that's something that he would love to do. I think he would like to have that on his resume. And you know, sometimes when I'm playing for the Cowboys, you play better. You know what I'm saying? Right. This could be a lifelong dream from you. So you might play out of your mind. So this could be something that you could look like for the future. So I feel like this was a match made in heaven. Go ahead and marry that. Go ahead and, you know, put the ring on it. Let's go ahead and marry it, and let's go ahead and make it happen. Excitement. That's what we want, man.
Yeah. I know in his last year in the NFL, before he played the XFL last year in 2018, he was actually with the Broncos. And they tried to act like he was, you know, a troublemaker and this and that. It really wasn't him causing trouble. The special teams coach they had, Todd McMahon, was trying to force him to change his kicking technique. That's made him one of the best punters what works for him. And he wasn't about it. So that caused a lot of trouble, which I can understand. I'm like, bro, like I'm leading in hang time. I'm leading in average yards per punt. I'm top 5 every year. And you're telling me to change my kicking technique. So.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's keep those comments coming in. We're at 45 minutes. Hopefully we can keep big game a little bit longer to talk a little bit more about.
Yeah, you good? I ain't tripping. You good. I ain't got to go to work tomorrow. You good. Spit it. Let's go.
Oh, speaking of that, I don't know if I start the show off with this, but thank you to all our veterans who served this country. We appreciate your service. I know we got a few vets in the comments, so if you're a vet, be sure to send us a comment to let you know so we can give you a proper salute.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a salute. You know, a lot of my family is military. My father, salutes to him. Rest in peace. He passed away 10 years ago. He was senior master sergeant in the Air Force, and like I said, pretty much my whole family is military. So I'll definitely salute to all the veterans out there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so guys, keep those great comments coming. We got a little bit more with Big Game James. Now we're gonna talk about just going forward in the rest of this season, hitting a couple of topics. The first one I want to talk about.
Ooh, Jack.
Appreciate your support, Jack Meeker, and we appreciate your support with the Cowboy Zone and all the great comments you bring. Oh, Lambo, I forgot you were a veteran, right? You in the military?
Marine Corps infantry.
Marine Corps. Okay.
Hey, Lamar was too. Happy Veterans Day, bro. Thanks, man.
All right, so let's
High
start
school.
with this topic first. Like we just talked about, Zeke has we do something called game predictions and over under on the show where we'll like put a stat up and see if they go over or under. Every week we've done Zeke 100 yards, and so far we haven't over yet.
I'm done. I'm not doing it no more this year.
No more. So, question to you. Do you think we may see a split, a little bit more of a split, 35-65, 60-40, something between Zeke and Pollard going forward in the rest of this year?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't trust it, and the reason why I don't trust it is because Zeke makes. And I'm not trying to bring up his salary because people get mad. I'm not trying to bring up his salary, but I don't trust it because he makes that much money. And I feel like because of that, he's always going to get that workhorse load. You know, they're just not going to do that. That it's frustrating, but and it's no shade on Zeke. But you know what? I want to see some Tony Pollard. I mean, every time we see a little bit of him get, and I said this before. I mean, I play sports, okay, and I play football. I didn't play running back all the time. I played cornerback. That was my position. I played receiver and cornerback. But cornerback was my main position. But one thing I know about a running back, it's hard, especially when you start getting a couple carries, you get a nice couple runs, and then you got to go sit down, and then you got to sit down for two, maybe a whole quarter, and then you come in and maybe the line doesn't block that good and you get a negative yards. Maybe then they're like, sit him out. Then you don't play, you know what I mean? It's hard for a running back to get in his groove. So every time you see Tony Pollard really get some groove, you see positive things. You see explosive plays. You see him getting through that line. I don't hate on Zeke, but he don't get through those same plays like that. Are they just not? Are they blocking for Tony and not blocking for Zeke? I mean, what's going on here? Because 18 carries, 53 yards. 9 carries, 57 yards.
Right. There's some of those replays you look at too, where Zeke will lead himself right into a crowd, and you'll see a big hole on the right side. There's a few times you'll see that if you look back on the tape, and I don't know. I'd like to see Pollard get a few more touches as well. He's just explosive, man.
This is all I'm saying. When people saying, this is why Zeke ain't doing this, because I seen this tape out there and I seen people always, it's the offensive line and that's why Zeke ain't doing that. Well, here's my thing. This is the only thing I go back to. Then that's why they say you don't pay running backs all that money, because if that's the case, and if it's a lot of the offensive line, then you don't pay a running back high amount of money. Because if your offensive line fails, then he ain't doing. But if you ain't paying him a lot of money, you ain't tripping because you can funnel backs, right? But if you paying a running back high dollar money, he must get them carries. Just like McCaffrey. No hate, but look, he's already hurt again. Shoulder. Just got paid $16 million. Now he's getting paid $16 million. You think he's not going to get the ball now? He's really going to get the ball. So that. More now, and I give Zeke, he ain't been injured, so that's where you shade the two. But he's getting that money where he's going to get the ball all the time. You know what I mean? And if that offensive line is not producing for you, and now you're not getting these yards, where they're saying, well, why did you pay him all that money then? Because isn't the running back supposed to overcome this offensive line as well? As that's why you
for
pay
that
him,
much
money? He's a great back.
I'm not a pay the running back guy, and I love Zeke. I'm a big fan of Zeke, but I'm not like in today's NFL. I'm just not a fan of paying top 5 money on running backs.
And see, here's my thing. I'm not jumping on the party train of, oh yeah, let's get rid of Zeke. I wrote an article 2 years ago about this. I got the article and I said, is this the last we send up Ezekiel Elliott? I got killed, and I keep saying I got killed for that article because people say I was out of my mind, I was crazy, and I said Ezekiel, and I gave his numbers. For his numbers, yeah, you should get paid for your numbers. But it has been proven that you can win without backs paying him that kind of money. So is he going to get this money? And that's what I threw it out there. Will Dallas pay him that money because they didn't do it with DeMarco Murray? I know he was older, but they looked at a little bit of that age and they said, no, we ain't paying that. Why? You know why you weren't going to do it. So that's why I said it could be the end for Ezekiel Elliott. Dallas caved within 2 years because Ezekiel Elliott was smart business-wise because he knew if I go another year, they're going to lowball me because it's another year of mileage on me. Right. Now they're going to lowball me. Now I'm another year older. DeMarco Murray was 26 when he came up for that contract, and they weren't paying him that high dollar. If you seen Ezekiel Elliott get another couple years and they weren't offering that money, they weren't going to pay him. And he knew that. That's why he held out that way he did.
Yeah. He did the right thing for his part, for sure.
Yeah, I was just about to
Dallas, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that DeMarco Murray thing up, so thanks for pointing it out. Guys, we got Big Gang James here spitting fire about the Dallas Cowboys. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you like this video and also make sure you share it. Share it to your personal page and share it to your favorite page so that everybody else can get this knowledge that we're hearing right now. All right, so we're gonna move forward a little bit, just talking about some players for the rest of the season. And now we know we just lost Diggs. And Awuzie, we still don't know when he's coming back, even though he came off injury reserve last week, but he hasn't been activated. So now we got some glaring holes at corner. And I want to ask you about these two guys in particular. Number one, we got this 6'4", 4'3" corner on the practice squad by the name of Chris Westry that I don't even think we've activated since he's been on the team. Do you think we finally get to see him? And why do you think they don't bring him up instead of bringing up a guy like a Savion Smith? I don't get that one.
I think, I've been a guy that I made a video about him last year. I wanted to see what he could do. I saw him at training camp last year. He was all legs. The first thing I thought was like, dang, this dude is just straight legs. Like he is just tall and lanky. Right. And, he's pretty much 6'5", okay? Right. And it's really hard to see 6'5" corners because he wasn't like the guy that, even when I watched his tape, he wasn't the open hot hips guy. He wasn't a guy that was super hipsy guy. And you playing against maybe receivers. Yes, the receivers are bigger, but you get a guy that's a 6'1", 6'2", and he's going against you and your technique is not good. You're not a physical defensive back at all. He wasn't physical at Kentucky at all. No, I don't know if that changed when he got into the league, but if that's still not showing and you don't put your hands on him and you're not physical and you kind of tighten the hips, that spells bad, Mark. You know what I'm saying? That spells bad. Blood City, like that. Why would you really put him on the field?
Here's what I say to that. The team has been running a lot of cover 3 lately.
Right.
In cover 3, you just trail, get your zone, and make sure you cover that zone. As a 6'4" guy who runs that fast, I would think he could at least get back because we saw Darryl Worley, which I love Darryl Worley. I feel like he's not a cover 3 guy. He's a get up to the line, put his hands on you, play leverage type guy, and we didn't let him do that. But if you're gonna play the defense that we're playing, I feel like Westry can't be any worse than what we've seen. That's kind of my.
I can hear you on that, but they must have just be because you see they nervous with the Reggie Robinson. Like that
was my next.
Y'all put him at safety, right? And maybe he's not working out at safety, but that's okay because we need cornerback help, especially now with Diggs being gone. Mm-hmm. So
Dalvin Wilson's holding it down now,
right? And you can't. You know what it is, honestly, fellas? I feel like Stephen Jones is going to feel like we're still in it, and so they're pressing these other guys to play. And that's why we might not see the Reggie Robinson until they say, you know what, we're out of it. Now play Reggie Robinson.
Okay.
I feel like that's just honestly, I feel like that's why we're not seeing some of these guys right now, fellas, because they feel like we're still in this. So we're going to play the best guys we have to win this game and not experiment, because that could cost us a game that we think we could still get in the playoffs because this division is weak.
Yeah.
Now, Big Game, you said you played corner. So I'm going to ask you this question. Did Savion Smith or Steven Parker show you anything in that game to say these guys are worthy of being on the field in the NFL game?
I don't hate on much as Parker, because Parker played like he didn't play lights out, but he played in a game. I don't know if it was a couple of games ago. I was like, okay, he was coming in hitting people, but no, you're not somebody going forward. Okay, we already know that you're not anybody going forward. I don't know what the hell Savion Smith was doing, dog. Yeah. So, you feel me? Like, I don't know what he was doing. That's why I said, if you're going to have Savion Smith out there, then why you need to have Reggie Robinson out there?
Exactly. Yeah. Most definitely. So you beat me to it on Reggie Robinson. So now that you bring
and he's your draft pick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He was your draft pick. That was your draft pick. And y'all were high on him. Y'all were the ones that were high on him. If y'all saw high on him, play him.
And he's a freak of an athlete, man. Let him get out there and learn.
He's a big kid too.
Yeah.
He's aggressive.
Yeah.
That was the pet cat of the offseason, according to some of the defensive guys and Will McClay.
They need to stop playing and play him.
So let's assume,
Anai, all of them.
So let's assume we see Reggie Robinson sometime this season. Do you think they play him some back at corner because we need the help, or do you think we play him some at safety? I think
they'll do both.
Okay.
I think they'll do both. I think because they want to see. I think they want to experiment. If they put them out there, they're going to want to experiment and see. So I think they're going to try both ways, especially if we're out of it and they playing him. Because what do you have to lose? You know what I mean? You want to see which position he's going to be better at for you, maybe down the line and for the future. So why not find out now?
Yeah, find out now, man. Exactly. So we're ready to do this thing next year.
Yes, sir.
So you just talked about the young guys, and I know we kind of talked about this before, but Brandon Knight hurt his knee a couple of weeks ago. He had surgery. He's expected back, if they activate him, probably in about 3 weeks. With what you just said, do you think they bring him back and put him on the field, or you think they just try to shut him down for the year? And
man, you better play him.
Man, I hope so. Somebody, like you said, somebody is heavy in Steele's corner.
Oh man,
I don't.
Dog. No, I mean, like I said, he's not a Chaz Green to me. He's not that terrible. He has upside to me because of his size and his athletic ability, but he needs to get stronger. He needs to get in the weight room. He wasn't that good. He wasn't great at Texas Tech in that. And we go back in that Senior Bowl game, he was going against Bradley and Nine. Bradley and Nine was cooking him.
Okay?
He needs to work on his footwork and everything.
So he already had issues. So when they picked him up, I was like, what? I couldn't even believe it. And then when they said he was starting week 1, I said, oh, they tripping. That's when I was like, yeah, they tripping. And so then it's like, okay, so you start in week 1. Where has he shown? Where has he got better? No, he's led the league in everything bad.
Bad, right. And even if you go back to the offseason, we didn't see anything in terms of footage from preseason, but all we heard was Steele was a turnstile. He was a turnstile in practice. And this is the guy they tried it out week 1. It made no sense.
And been starting every week.
Every week.
And been putting him by himself.
Except for that one game where they pulled him out and threw Zach Martin in there. That was their time right there. I feel like they should have just pulled him permanently, to me.
It's okay. It's okay. Like, why are we worried about hurting his feelings?
Exactly. And I want to go back to that one, but I was having this conversation on the show, and I was asking, as long as I've watched football, I've never seen a starter come out of a game and nobody give an explanation. I don't know if you caught that or not. Like, normally when a starter goes out there, say he's on the sideline, he sprung something, nothing came out about Steele until that Tuesday, and then all of a sudden he had a stomach virus. But day before the game, day of the game, during the game, nothing. That lets me know he was just playing horrible and they pulled him out. but then they go right back to them. It's
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah, like I said, man, I'm done. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's just to the
Yeah.
point where it's just what I just hope that Brandon Knight gets healthy and hope he can get back in there because I've seen enough of Steele. And if you already got it's already half the year and he's already given up 7 sacks and 32 pressures. What do you think that's going to be? You just keep on having hope and he's going to just continue to get better? Okay, well, whatever, man.
All right, so we're at 1 hour. We'll probably try to go another 20, 30 minutes or so if Big Game will allow us. So before we kind of talk about next year, because I want to take advantage of having you as long as I can to get as much of this knowledge that you have. So before we kind of talk about some of the next year stuff for this year, how many games do you think we'll win for the rest of the year coming out of the bye week?
Honestly, I think we can get a couple more. It just
Okay.
really depends on his defense. I think we can get to about 4-12. I think that would.
Okay.
You can maybe slide 5 because you're playing the Giants again and Washington again and Philly again. So them teams ain't good to me. And we showed a little bit of promise. We already showed we could beat the Eagles, and we should have beat them. And you think, well, damn, we should have played. And I was the one like, don't play Gilbert because he ain't gonna do no better. And I should have smacked myself in the head and said you should have played him. You know what I mean? Over Danucci when he was playing like hot garbage.
Oh, man.
And Danucci, and I'm like, come on. I knew he wasn't doing he was anything, but I was like, hey, I needed something. But dang, we should have beat those guys. So you can still get wins out of the division, and you could still slip a slide a game, maybe a San Francisco, because they're not impenetrable. You know what I mean? Minnesota isn't dominant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can still slip wins. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. And one thing about it is that's why I'm a defensive guy. I coached it. I played it. That's what I love. If you have a defense can travel whether it's home or away. And that defense, it showed you in Pittsburgh, it showed you in Philly, that defense keeps you in the game. If you just can score some points, you can win games.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I didn't. Before the Steelers game, I had changed my outlook on the end of the last half of the season to where I thought we would maybe take out the Giants week 17 and that'd be it. But after seeing how the defense is coming along and how they played versus Pittsburgh, I'm gonna say. I think I'm with you on about 2 games, maybe 3. But I think we'll take Washington and Giants, and possibly Minnesota. Honestly,
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, Kirk Cousins don't scare me.
No,
exactly. Yeah, I was about to say, I can't
Dalvin
wait.
Cook does though.
yeah, he does. He does.
Most definitely. And William Cote asks, do we want to win? I don't see this thing
At this point, yeah.
See, here's the thing, fellas. I'm a always want to win guy. I don't give a hell. I never want to go in a game wanting to lose. You don't do that. But sometimes when you're just not a good team, it happens even when you play hard, just like this Pittsburgh game and the Philly game. You've seen even who is that daggone? Even the Jets when they just lost to the Patriots. It just happens. They should have won that game. But when you're bad, those things happen to your team. So it's not like you ever want to try to lose a game, but those things just happen when you don't win games. So it's more of a higher probability that you just are going to lose it. But you don't never go out there to say, we ain't trying to win this game, man. Never.
All right, so before we move on to
No way, Lamar. Sorry, I had to say that ain't happening. Jets got that locked in the bag.
and we'll talk about that in a minute once we talk about 2021. But before we move on, just leading up to this bye week, Andre asked the question, I guess, who do you think has been the most improved player this year from week 1 to the bye week? And great question.
That's a great question. Great question. Let me think. Doesn't matter offense or defense, just as a
Doesn't
whole?
matter. Yeah, just a player that kind of stands out from week 1
I
to
want
now.
to say a week 1 guy. That's a good one.
That got me thinking.
I know. Like, when you got all 3 of us stumped, Andre, you know you put a hell of a question up there.
That's because
That's
it's half the damn team only played half the season, so it's like it's got messing me up here.
Now I'll jump in with one real quick.
I got somebody, but I'm gonna think if there's anybody else. I got somebody, but I'm gonna let y'all go first. I got
Okay.
somebody, I think, but I'm gonna
I
let
would
y'all go first.
probably say, and I know people gonna probably kill me for this, but Connor Williams. Even with
That's a great
the
one.
line looking good at the beginning of the year, he was clearly by far the worst looking piece. But since the season has kind of progressed, I've seen him step his game up a little bit more. Now, it could be because the left tackle beside him just looks that awful, but I haven't seen him get pushed back as much. I haven't seen his guy in the face of the quarterback as much. I'll give him his props. And a lot of times when I've seen some big runs, they have been coming on that left side between him and the center. So I show Connor Williams a little bit of love on that one.
I'm thinking, now he didn't get snaps early in the season, but I'm still thinking Donovan Wilson a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because when he first finally got some opportunity, he didn't, he was having a lot of mental errors out on the field. But over these past 2 weeks, it seemed like he's starting to play more comfortable. He's playing more comfortable, and then last week it looked like he had a lot of passion out there, and he was just, I don't know, it looks like he's just starting to learn where he needs to be and be there consistently. And I think as the season progresses, he's only going to continue that. I really like Donovan Wilson.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I was thinking Donovan Wilson. I was like, man, I know he about to say Donovan Wilson. That's the first thing I thought in my head when you said him. You know what I mean? I was like, he about to say Donovan Wilson. So I said, let me think. And it's going to be weird when I say this. It's going to be weird how I say this. But I'm going to say, because I've been on him, I'm going to say D-Law. I'm going to say DeMarcus Lawrence. And the reason why I say that, because from week 0 to now, number one, he's been consistently, Pro Football Focus, say what you want. People say, oh, whatever. Mm-hmm. I still look at their numbers. I still check out their stuff because, they're not all the way legit on how I feel on things. Right. But if you look at his stats across the board, I mean, except for the sacks, he's top rated with the defensive end, and he's gotten better each week. And this is, if you look at the last few weeks, he's been one of the better defensive players for the team because he's gotten healthier, number one. Right. So I'm going to say D-Law, because especially since I've been on him, I said he wasn't the guy, jumped out, gave the epic rant for him, saying I wasn't trying to hear none of that stuff about no D-Law this and D-Law that. Yeah. But you know what? I still feel like he still needs to get them big sacks. You feel me, y'all? Yeah. Like, not just against these backups and guys we know you should beat. I want you to beat all them guys. Yeah. But I'll still say the improvement from 0 to now, he's been that force for us, definitely as of late.
I completely agree with that one. And like you said with the PFF, they said he's now the 3rd highest graded edge defender behind TJ Watt and Khalil Mack right now, according to PFF. He's really came on these past couple weeks for sure.
And kind of like what you talked about with the running back, players have to get into a rhythm. And the first 3 weeks of the season, because I kind of go through percentages of snaps played, I don't think he cracked the 40% mark the first 3 weeks. And now he's pushing 65, 70% of the snaps. I don't know if that's because Everson Griffin's gone and they stopped doing that silly rotation or just him being more healthy, like you said. But more snaps and more of a rhythm, that makes you be more productive for sure.
And his 18 run stops, I'm seeing per John owning, his 18 run stops are the most among edge rushers. So,
and he's always been great in the run game. I think that's why. Yeah. I mean, even when they drafted him, that's one of the reasons why I liked him, because I knew he could attack the run and rush the passer. And I think that's one of the things. But like I said, man, sacks ain't everything. I know it ain't, but doggone it, they're game changers, like a big dunk or a big play. They're game changers. Like, you can change the whole game with one of them big sacks. Gets the whole team, everybody just geeked. And that's what I just want to see a sack, because I'm gonna just say this. He said before he got this contract, I'm a 10-sack guy, and I'm just holding him to it. That's all.
Yeah, when you get the $100 million contract, you got to make the sacks happen.
Like Jeff said, 21 million reasons.
Right.
I'm just saying.
And thank you guys in the comments. You guys put some great ones up as well. I see William Coulter says Diggs got better every week.
Yes, I wanted Diggs, but I didn't want to go with he was like kind of obvious for me.
Right, I did the same thing. That's what I was going to go to. And Lamar and Mendoza both said
Schultz as well.
Yeah.
Yes, Schultz is definitely a good one.
And Brian says Cedric Wilson's been solid, most definitely.
I like to see more said. You know, we don't get to see a lot of him.
And I'm a Memphis guy, so I followed his career since 8th grade, and that
Yeah,
kid has always been amazing.
Yeah, I love his versatility. We had when we got to interview him, I just liked his personality. I just liked, he's just a cool dude, and you really got to be happy that you finally got to see him healthy this year and see what he could finally do. And now it's like, you know what? If you don't try to dangle him or anything like that, because that you never know what can happen. But if you were to look for the future with him, he's definitely a good secondary receiver going forward for you guys.
Most definitely, yeah. And the only thing that's been holding him back is injuries, because the talent's always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's versatile, and that's what you love.
Yeah. Jack Meeker Sawo just came up because they thought Zeke may miss the game. He was a practice squad bring up. He's going right back to the practice squad, most definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He won't be a lead. All right, so let's talk a little bit about moving forward into 2021. We'll do a little bit of draft talk. We're at 1:10. We'll try to keep this short and sweet, try to get out of here in an hour and a half. So as of right now, and I know everybody loves talking about this, we are currently at the number 3 position in terms of draft rank. So I know you follow the draft a little bit in the college guys. If we were doing the draft today, who would kind of be a guy or two who be on your radar for that number 3 pick?
I'm gonna be honest. I still have to look at guys, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not trying to do no offensive tackle. If we got a third pick in it,
I'm not.
Big game.
What?
Go
you
ahead.
Mad at me? I don't care.
No, go ahead,
I don't give a hell. Let me tell you something. They got that third pick, and anybody is telling me they want a quarterback, then let's talk. Tell me how much you're gonna spend. Tell me how much you're gonna give me, and do all that, and then I'll look. But I'm trying to get. I'm like I said, fellas, holler at me in a few weeks when I get to really look at these guys. But I'm looking for a D tackle. I don't care. I need one. We need a game changing D tackle. I don't want just a guy in there.
It's
Okay?
not one in the
I want a
draft.
nasty. There's not one in the draft. Now I want somebody nasty. I need somebody nasty in there. But there are some nasty corners. There are some nice corners in there. So that definitely can happen. You compare somebody with Diggs and Cheeto, because I want to keep Cheeto. I want to keep Cheeto on a cheap deal because I feel like you can, because he's missed all these daggone games. So he's not going to cost a lot of money, in my opinion. Okay, I hear you with the offensive tackle because Tyron Smith is scary. You don't know what's happened with La'el Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this.
Well, with the way Brandon Knight's been playing, I think he can hold his.
You think? He's swing tackle. He ain't no starter.
Yeah, not long term. Yeah.
Who's the swing tackle?
Brandon Knight.
Brandon Knight can be a swing tackle, but he ain't no starter.
Right.
Yeah, I don't mean as a starter. I just mean like when Smith does miss some games.
Yeah.
Then I
do we really know Smith? Because this is what I said about this, and I'm gonna ask you guys.
Okay.
I want to ask you guys this. This was with Tyron Smith and La'el Collins, but specifically with Tyron Smith. I've been on the Tyron Smith thing. Even last year, I said you should have probably looked at it, do a straight up with Jamal Adams if you could have did that, because you'd had a young safety for the future. Tyron Smith, I love him, but he's older. He's about to be 30, and he's always had back problems. He's guaranteed to miss 3 to 4 games every single year, no matter how good he was. And backs don't get better. You have a neck injury, you have neck surgery. Those don't just miraculously just get better, and you're 30. You're going to play 5 more years. I don't believe it. Yeah. So that's the reason why I would say you look at an offensive tackle, but I just want to get a gang of picks. And then if there's an offensive tackle and you got gang of picks with it, then I'm feeling good. But I just don't want to say keep that pick and then get an offensive tackle and then go from there. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know Marcus,
you got to build this defense.
Marcus wants Sewell, right? Is that how you pronounce it, Sewell, the tackle from Oregon?
Sewell. Yeah. If I can't trade back, I'm not stay there and take the guy. If we can trade back, I'm all for it. But if we're gonna stay there, this kid is special to me. And
if we're gonna stay there, okay, but I don't want to stay there because we
I
can really
back.
Wheel and deal right now. We need picks. We need to build as much as we can. We need to get surplus for real, and they need to make it happen because fellas, we ain't been doing great in these drafts lately.
Yeah.
If you really look at our drafts, besides 2016, what drafts can you say our draft's been like?
Right, you're right. And Lamar, you bring up 3 good names. None of these guys are, to me,
Yeah, top.
change your defense type guys.
Micah Parsons.
And on top of that, all these guys play the same position as D-Law. I don't want no more of drafting a left defensive end and forcing them to play right defensive end like we did with Taco. If we get a D end, I want a pure pass rushing right D end. Don't give me pay, which I love, by the way, and we force them on the right side. I mean left side. I don't want that anymore.
What do you think about Micah Parsons, linebacker out of Penn State, Marcus?
Love them.
Yeah.
But Sewell's
But you taking a linebacker that early? That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
talent, though.
Yeah, he'll go around pick 5, pick 6, 7, something like that.
Yeah, but I'm just going
So
Sewell.
my thing, if you got a linebacker like that, then what are you doing with these other ones? Like, okay,
Right.
we're already saying Sean Lee ain't coming back, but what are you doing with these other guys if you're getting a guy like that?
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? What are you saying? Because all I heard was Jerry Jones talking about how much he loves some Jalen Smith, and that's his pick.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go back to the 2018 year where we had a injury-prone Sean Lee and a Jalen Smith who was coming off injury, hadn't really reached his potential yet, and we still drafted a linebacker. So
Okay.
maybe history could repeat itself 3 years later. I don't know. We could be swapping the LVE out for Parsons in another year or so, but I don't know.
I like LVE.
I like
He
LVE.
just be healthy every daggone game so we can just really evaluate you. The team can evaluate, because I feel like LVE has talent, man. You know, I like LVE. Something about him I like, but I just need to see him on the field every single week.
For sure. Now, let me ask you this question, because I haven't asked you this yet. And once you hear what I'm about to say, you'll know what I'm leading into. Let's say we have to stay at 3. And, of course, Trevor Lawrence is number 1. Let's say whoever's number 2 takes the tackle. And we're sitting there with a guy like Justin Fields. Would you consider, if you couldn't trade, would you consider staying there and taking him as that pick?
I mean, you always got to consider it. I wouldn't be sitting there flat out and say you wouldn't consider it. Yeah, I would look at it, but here's my thing. This is just me. Dak is still young. He's 27 years old.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't like going with an unproven.
It's so hard to hit on quarterbacks.
Y'all can jump out there, because let's look at all these new quarterbacks that just came out now. They ain't hit on. They're already talking about drafting new quarterbacks. You get what I'm saying? Y'all act like these franchise quarterbacks grow on trees. They don't. They rare. That's why they call them franchise quarterbacks.
Haskins, Jones.
They're rare. You know what I mean? They just don't come out of everywhere. So you have to really hit on that. And even when you think you hit on it, you don't. So I'm not playing that game of starting over and having to, because if you do that and he flops, then what?
Right. You stuck with him until
then we're playing the
stuck
quarter.
with him.
We're doing that
You
quarterback
can't-
carousel like we did after Aikman. That's what we're doing.
That thing that you can't sign your quarterback and still can't build your team, yes, you daggone can. But guess what? You got to wheel and deal. You got to stick your nose in there. You can't be scared, Stephen Jones. You can't be cheap. I'm not saying spend all your daggone money, but stop being scared out there. You getting all gunnish. I know, oh, we ain't going to do that. We don't want to spend that. No. Let's go for him because it's safe. Stop being safe out there, because these other organizations ain't being safe, and they still making it happen. They still getting these players, and they still making it happen because they's like, we ain't waiting until next year. We're trying to win now, okay? And we'll make that happen. We'll figure it out. You ain't got to be in this cap hell. You want to be this salary cap champ every daggone year. And I'm getting fed up with it, because you can sign your guy, wheel and deal, you can make these moves. Right. Get out there and make them, and stop being scary.
And let me say this to add on what you said. For all the people who live with this rhetoric that if you don't sign a quarterback, you can restructure your team. Take a look at some of these contracts. If you want to get a top defensive end, you're paying $22 million right now. If you want a top offensive tackle, you're paying $23 million right now. If you want a top corner, you're paying $21 million right now. So don't act like if we didn't sign Dak to save the $36 million, that we're just going to go out there and get a whole new defense. You'll be lucky to get one great player.
Yeah.
Great player now, because you have to pay a good player, a barely above average player, $21 million, if that's what the market dictates. So don't think we're gonna go out here and just restructure and become the 85 Bears if we let that go. We're gonna still be pulling from the same pool that everybody else is pulling from.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
I'm sorry.
to me.
I don't care. Dak, it ain't even about Dak deserves his money anywhere he goes. But
Right.
I mean, this dude, you can see that if you just get this team around, we've already seen it before, haven't we, fellas? If you had the team before him and we was winning games, so put some team around him. He's already showing he's elite. Get some a little bit around him.
Right.
Get some defense around him that can put some stops on people. Get some energetic young guys that's after the quarterback. Dog, wouldn't it feel so good, fellas? I'm gonna just say this.
Go ahead.
We seen, I'm old school. I seen them great defenses back in the day, and I don't care when you got one of them great defenses. It don't even got to be great. Let's like the Cowboys in the '90s. It didn't have to be great. It was just really good. Man, it just makes that offense so much better. Your offense comes out there feeling cocky. You know why? Because I know if I mess up just a little bit, we get 3 now, we're going to get the ball right back because my D is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Your offense feeds off that, okay? And I know offense, you love scoring points, but sometimes the offense gets shut down. We've seen it plenty of times in playoff games and Super Bowls, the offense gets shut down. But when you see that D carrying from week in to week out and snowy and rain and wet and all that shutting down, people only getting 6 points, how did you feel when we were shutting down that Pittsburgh team?
Felt great.
Yeah.
How did you feel when they was only having six points at halftime? How was you feeling? How was you like,
Yeah.
It's nice, man.
Most definitely.
And I agree with you, Big Game, that this is the next year is gonna be the perfect scenario for us to trade back. There's gonna be a lot of defensive players, a lot of depth in that first round, some real talent, and you could trade back, stack up on picks, and you're still going to get one of the best cornerbacks or one of the best safeties or, what have you, something on that defensive side. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Lamar.
Defense is the name of the game.
Yeah.
I would probably say Denver when they won the championship a couple years ago. Great defense, great quarterback.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
But guess what? That great quarterback didn't play great, did he?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. That defense carried him.
That defense carried that whole game. We know who won that Super Bowl, right? It wasn't Peyton Manning. It was that defense. And guess what? Why did he win that Super Bowl? Because the year before he got slaughtered because they had offense, right? And that defense from the Seahawks shut them down, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
I see Shane Odom playing devil's advocate talking about we don't know what Dak will look like. This is why I say to that. This is
2020.
you gonna say the same thing I'm saying.
He's already ahead of schedule, and it went well. It went real well.
This ain't 1978. This is a bone break. There's no infection, which is the only thing that's really concerning. They're gonna put a rod in there, and he'll come back and be 100%. Don't worry. If they would have said he had some gangrene or something, okay, we could talk about it. But if he's gotten through this point without having any bacteria or virus or infection or something like that, we're good with that. Don't even worry about that.
Yeah, and I'm hearing he is ahead of schedule too, so things are looking good for him.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
All right, before we get off the draft, because I don't want to go into it too much. Going into the draft, what would you say would be our top 3 positions of need?
Now
I'm a college guy. I know the top 3 rounds pretty good.
I know you. Yeah, you be on it. I'll definitely give you that. I like the tackle.
Defensive tackle.
Offensive tackle.
Okay.
I think that's got to be a priority somewhere. Defensive tackle. I think we really just need to find an animal. I know you said there's not one in this draft. I hope pray you're wrong.
There's not one
to pray. Okay, well, I hope we find an animal later because we need an animal in there, dog. We need a no-nonsense guy that really gets us there. And obviously, we need a safety. We need to find a safety that's just. I mean, like when we saw Micah Fitzpatrick, we need a guy that when he gets out there, it's the quarterback of the defense. Like he's taking control and commanding it. We saw what a game-changing safety can do to a whole team.
Yeah.
And it makes everybody better. It calms everybody down because they feel comfortable because we know somebody got back there, got our back.
Right.
We can attack you all kind of
Mm-hmm.
ways because we not scared for you to throw it deep. We got somebody on the back end. Tell me why they didn't love Ed Reed. Because you
Mm-hmm.
can try to throw
Yep.
you deep. We're gonna blitz you and come after you because we got somebody that can get the ball. And not can he just get the ball, he can take it back against you. We need something like that, dog,
Yeah.
because it'll make the Trevin Diggs better. It'll
Let 'em
make
jump
the
those
Tito's
routes.
better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It'll make the linebackers better. We need some of that. And you can find it. Stop being scared. Like, we need to hit on these draft. If you're talking about Stephen Jones, that we're building our team through the draft, we're keeping our core players, and we'll get some free agents here and there, but we ain't gonna overpay. Then you better hit on this damn draft damn near every year. Then, if that's what you're talking, because you invest, you don't want to give away picks. You don't never want to give away picks. You don't. Oh, we ain't signing them because we got to give up picks. Then you better be hitting on these draft picks, man.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I said there's not a lot of detail because I meant like first round. Like if you pick at 6 or 7 or 15, you're not going to find a defensive tackle in this draft. Not a one tech, but that third round though, it's some big sloppy, mean monsters out there. It's about 4 or 5 guys we can get easily in the third.
We don't have a nasty guy. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, I like Gallamore's nasty attitude. I like his attitude. And I like how Tristan was coming along with the nasty. But we need a whole nasty attitude around the whole line. But we need a nasty. I don't care for this. We need some dog. We seen these guys that just can get in there and just blow up offensive lines. And you talk about the Aaron Donalds, but when you get one of those guys, man, even let's keep it real. When David Irvin was here and he was on his game, dog, that was a game changer. That's what and you saw how much it changed our whole defense when David Irvin was in that middle with that damn size, calling him dinosaur, dog. It made our whole defense that much better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I miss. I wish none of that bad stuff. I wish none of that happened, dog. Because if we could have kept him and he was young.
Yeah.
And you could have had Tristan Hill, them guys. Oh my God, what?
Yeah.
That hurts.
I don't have the names in front of me, big game, but check out the D tackle from Florida, the D tackle from Georgia, and the D tackle from USC.
Now, I've seen the D tackle from Georgia. I've seen a little bit of highlights on him, so I'm definitely gonna jump on him. But I will get on that ASAP, good sir.
And the Alabama, I ain't even gotta say Alabama because you know you.
Yeah, for sure.
That Georgia D tackle is scary. Like,
I seen the size. I'm like, whoa. I seen that size. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Get your butt in there and kill people. Not in that literal sense, fellas. But we know what it is.
Now, the kid from Florida is just as big, but he's probably more athletic. Like, I would be shocked. He's 6'5", 340. I would be shocked if he didn't run under a 5'1" in the 40.
See, I mean, you feel me, fellas? That's what we need. We need that 6'5", 340 that's athletic and nasty, can just move. Man, dog, we need that. Like, we need that on our defense. Like, fellas, we need it. We need it because I'm tired of us being close. I'm tired of us being underachievers. I'm tired of we need nasty. Just like my guy in my comment, I didn't get to see it. We need nasty. Too many times I feel like we're just not nasty enough. People can push us around and just do what they want to get. So I'm tired of seeing that. You know, I love what Antoine Woods did and Randy Gregory did, slapping that ball out of his hands.
I did too.
Yeah,
I love seeing that. Can we get that every single week from y'all? Can we all fight like that and get nasty and say we don't give a hell who you are? I don't want to see the swipe every time. I want to see y'all getting after people.
Right.
Definitely. Now, somebody in the comments, those asked about Shane Basham. I like Shane Basham, but I feel like we don't have a spot for him because you either got to put him at left defensive end or 3 tech, and both of those spots are full right now. So I don't want to see us have to get a guy and then put him somewhere else unless he's just head and shoulders the best available, which I don't think would be the case. All right, so before we move on to the last segment, so going into next year, we got Tristan Hill coming back, Neville Gallimore. Do you rotate both of them at 3 tech, or do you let one of them play one? Because I know you want that big nasty 1 tech, like you just said.
Rotate them. Figure it out. You can rotate them. You can let them play. Rotate them. I don't want to see Gallimore playing the 1 because I just don't think that's the position they forced him at Oklahoma like that.
Yep.
I want him to be the 3 tech and be able to move and be versatile. And that's what Tristan Hill's position already is, the 3 tech. So let them go ahead and bang it out and let them get some good rotation because they rotate them anyway. You can keep it like that with them, but we need a nasty guy by himself to do his own thing. I don't want to see that.
100%. Right on board with y'all on that.
Yeah, for sure. And Mendoza, I know we can talk draft stuff all day, but Paye from Michigan, I really like him. I actually love him, but we don't have a spot for him. That's just one of those things that's going to happen this year. It's a lot of left defensive ends in this draft. And like I said, I don't want to play him out of position just to get one of them. All right, so we're at an hour 30. We normally try to get out an hour 30, but I got one more thing I got to talk to you about before we go.
What's up?
So we got free agency coming up this year, and we got a lot of guys on the last year of their deal. So real quick, I just want to shoot a couple names out to you, and you tell me stay or go. Should they stay or should they go?
Okay.
All right, we'll start with the offense first. So first of all, we got one of my favorite players. I know a lot of people bash on me for this, but Noah Brown, I believe, is in the last year of his deal. Stay or go? Do you keep him as your fifth receiver? Okay, so you with me?
Stay. I was super down on Noah Brown for life. I said, why is he on this roster for the last few years? He stepped his game up.
Yeah.
We finally got to see receiving skills, and I think that was the last staff to really give him a chance to show his receiving side, and you can finally see it now with this new regime. So why get rid of it? And he's not going to cost a lot of money. Definitely stay.
Great blocker, great special teamer. It makes sense. Cheap. Right. Yeah.
I was saying since March he would make this team, and everybody disagreed with me that I talked to him.
I didn't think he was, but when I saw him in that daggone few of them catches, I was like, he's staying.
Yeah, most definitely. Especially the little bit we got to see in the game that they wouldn't show any stats on.
I thought that was CD. I was like,
right.
CD? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and keep him.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we go to the offensive line. We got two guys. The left tackle. I won't say his name for me. The left tackle.
Cameron Irvin?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. All right, so we got one more. This one might be a little tricky. I don't know if it is for you or not. Jumbo Looney. Do we try him for another year or do we let him go?
That's tough because he's a good locker room guy, and I don't think he's going to cost a lot of money. I think I would like to bring him back, but it's honestly with him, it's going to be money.
He's going to get a starting job somewhere, I think.
Yeah, if he wants to try to get some starter money or feel like he can compete for a position, then hey.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be money on that one because it's a job out there for a guy who can play center and guard in a pinch and give you quality snaps.
We've seen a lot of guys leave Dallas as, average players on the O-line and get a good salary starting like offensive tackle Jeremy Parnell when he did it. There's been those guys, they always seem to find a starting gig somewhere.
Rosa, the kicker's not going anywhere right now. He's under contract for quite a few years. I would hate to see them lose money on the kicker. But he's been doing pretty good. All right, so now I think that's pretty much it on offense. So now we go to defense, and the list is a little bit longer. So we'll start first off with Tyrone Crawford, last year of his deal.
We should have had the $8 million for him already before the season started.
Hey, granny hips. That's granny hips.
He finally did something though in Pittsburgh. Finally.
Now he got COVID. No, and that's no. Hey, I hope he gets better from that because I don't want anything that. But you know what? At the end of the day, I said y'all. We all know a lot of people been on it, but bye.
I was at the front of that waving that flag. Mm-hmm. Let's cut him immediately. It
was no point in that. I really don't understand it. You could have saved that money, and it was like you're talking about the locker room. Like, no, I mean he's been.
Up, big game. I think your phone's ringing. Big game.
I'm here.
Okay. He's back.
Hold on 1 second.
Do your thing.
My Bluetooth. Hold on.
But people were talking about that whole leadership thing, and I was asking the question: outside of D-Law, who was on the defensive line with him? Everybody's gone. How can you
Yeah.
scream leadership for? I'm just gonna talk while you handle your
Okay.
business. How can people like scream leadership for a guy and nobody's there who was with him at the time?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
I don't know, man.
All right, big game, you got your situation taken care of.
Yeah, I'm just hold
All right,
on.
all right, we're on defense right now. I got one, two, I got 5 names for you, and then we'll get out of here. All right,
I know one of them.
so of course. So next up, and if Big Game hadn't got his stuff taken care of, now but you and I take care of this one. Next up, we stick with the defensive line, and we got Antoine Woods, which we kind of talked about. He's on his well, technically, I believe he'll be a restricted free agent next year. So we possibly still retain the rights for him, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know if I'm correct on that, Big Game, about Antoine Woods? Is he a restricted agent next year, or is he unrestricted? But let's assume he's unrestricted.
Yeah.
Lambo, do you think we keep him or we let him go, Antoine Woods?
That's tough. Like, really just depends on money. Like, I would say I would be okay with him going. Like, I like him. I think he does have a little bit of that nasty attitude with him, but I just think they'll be able to improve somewhere in the draft or in free agency.
Yeah. Mendoza, and thank you for correcting me because I think he's a restricted free agent too.
Yeah.
What I think is going to happen is he won't get a first or second round tender. He's going to get the draft tender, which is your draft position. And since he was undrafted, that means any team that offers him a contract, we'll lose him, and we won't get a draft pick back. So I think he's gone either way.
He probably is, but like I said, I think they'll be able to improve on him anyways.
I think if anybody offers him more than $2.5 million, we'll let him go. I don't think we'll pay him a lot at all, especially considering how good Tristan Hill looked.
Exactly.
In a little bit of time he was here, and how good Neville Gallimore is looking right now. And the guy we drafted from Houston gave us a couple of good snaps too, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. 6'3", 330 pounds. And Hamilton doesn't look awful, but
Last game was a little different.
Yeah,
A little bit of a
he's a big guy that takes up space though. So
Yeah,
when you got
he
a guy
is.
like that, you can find a spot for him.
yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, Brian, depends on money and if we draft.
Yeah.
I'm really looking for us to. I think we can get a start in one tech in the third or fourth round in the draft. So
Oh, good one.
a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like these D tackles in the middle rounds as plug and play starters. Because every one of them I like, except for Marvin Williams, is a mean, nasty, high motor player. Marvin Williams looks good from Florida State, but he's very hot and cold to me. And hot and cold D tackles scare the hell out of me because I get flashbacks of Rashid Hageman and guys like that who
Yeah.
flashed in college and then they came in the league.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of low, but we got you.
Sorry, my Bluetooth went out, so
Okay.
it was going in and out. So I apologize.
You good?
It may have to be a wrap for me because I don't want to sound all muffled on y'all.
Oh, you sound good now.
Do I
what
sound
is-
good?
Yeah, good enough. We can hear you.
Okay.
We got
I'll
like
try
3
to
more.
mess with it. I apologize.
No, you
Oh, it's all good.
So if you don't want to just talk too much, you just give us a stay or go on these guys.
Hold on 1 second.
All right. Who would you say is the front? Mendoza, elaborate on that. The front runner of them all in terms of what? I'm assuming you mean like the front runner in terms of D tackle position, but I don't know. I think the USC kid is probably kind of leading the pack in terms of draft, but again, it all depends on what people like.
I'll be honest, I don't start digging into the draft until right after the season ends, and then I start hitting it hard.
Yeah,
So-
Marvin Wilson, he looks so hot and cold to me. I wish I could love him, but I just get flashbacks of so many D tackles who in college look good one play, then the next 5 plays they disappear, and then they go in the league and do the exact same thing. But in terms of talent, he's probably one of the top guys. Oh, I love the Florida kid. I think his name is Slayton, if I'm not mistaken. If you told me I can get Slayton in the third round, I'm jumping up and down because that's the type of guy I think can come in and change the culture of your front seven because he's just big and mean and high motor and athletic. So I think he's gonna have a good combine at 330, and he's gonna probably push his way into the second. But if he doesn't, I'm all over him. All right, big game, we got you back.
Yeah, but I think my thing might be down.
All right, let me just run through these. Just give me stay or go for these last five.
Okay.
All right. So we'll start off with this one. Hopefully you don't go crazy over it. Xavier Woods, stay or go.
Man, what? Don't do that.
Hey, I'm just going down my list.
Go.
So I'm assuming go. All right.
I'm cool with that.
Okay. Joe Thomas, stay or go.
Ooh, I like Joe Thomas to stay, but you never know. He may want to get a starter job. That's the same thing with Joe Looney with me.
Yeah.
If you want to go out there and get that starting money, I'm gonna go ahead and let him go. But if you can fit him under a good contract, I'm definitely with him staying.
Okay.
That's a money
100%.
decision.
All right. Sean Lee, if he says he wants to retire,
Bye.
Cowboy.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
Hey, I had somebody say put him as a defensive coordinator. Shoot, let him look at
Linebacker
it.
coach.
I'm cool with. I think he might be good. A daggone great defensive coordinator. I think he might be all on it. So keep him in the building, let him grow, and I'm cool with that all the way. But football,
Right. Okay. The two corners, Jordan Lewis.
I think Jordan Lewis. I love Jordan Lewis, but I think his time is gone. I think he's going to want to get a starter. I think he's had enough of the back and forth with the Cowboys. He may never say it, but I think Jordan wants to see if he can compete on the outside and get him a starter job. I just think his time has run out.
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't know how anybody could watch him in college and watch him lead the college football stratosphere and pass his defense and be a two-time All-American and only give up 3 catches a game. And you say I'm gonna put him in slot. It made no sense to me.
You know what? That's what frustrated me because they put him in there because he's his size. He has the long arms, but he's an outside corner, and we've seen shorter corners go out there and compete. There's been too many players in the NFL and it's been already been shown. I've seen guys say they'd rather have the 5'10", the 5'11" guys because they're easier. You can trail with those other bigger receivers. They're more athletic, can open the hips better. It's just a better way to go for them. So you cornerbacks got to be 6'2" and 6'3". No, they don't. So I just think he's got the bad end of the stick, and I just feel like he's going to want something else. And I just feel like it's one of those things where you just got to split that.
And Adoree Jackson is the same size as him. He was a top 10 pick. And I think Lewis was better than him in college, personally. All right, so we kind of talked about Awuzie. You said you really want to make sure we get him back.
I like Cheeto.
Okay.
I do too.
I want Cheeto back. Even when you watch Cheeto get passes caught on him, Cheeto was always there. Sometimes I was talking about this yesterday with BJ Nick. We was talking about how people would complete the craziest passes on Cheeto, like he'd be right there, and you'd be like, "How did this dude just complete this pass on him, dog? Like he was like all the way right there. That was
Like
perfect
1 inch of space to complete the pass. That's where it goes.
I like Cheeto. I get frustrated with him sometimes, but I like him, and something about him. I just like him, and I think he can grow with Diggs and get him another really nasty corner around him. He can be really good.
Yeah. I'm still in love with Cheeto's college tape. I can't get off of it. He was amazing at Colorado.
And he's athletic. He's got good size, and he'll tackle
His speed, man. Yeah, I'm going to stay on Cheeto.
His junior year, I think he had 4 picks, 5 sacks, and 80 tackles at corner. Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Just the type of guy he is. All right, so we got the last one, and we'll let you go out of here. And that's Aldon Smith.
Yeah. That's a tricky one, though.
You think the money
spirit, I want him back, but I just feel like since he's been out the league, I worry about the decline. Y'all know what I mean? I worry about because he started out good, and I'm not saying he's playing bad, but you could see his size difference now. where he's not that super athletic guy before. He's still good, but I just want to worry about his athletic decline quickly. I know you're a freak, but you never know. And that's why I'm a little nervous about that. Like if you put money for him and then he declines quickly, and then you're like, damn, we stuck with that contract.
Right.
So
Another
I'm gonna put maybe just not fair. I got a big question mark right now.
yeah.
I need to see the rest of the year.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm right there with you because we still don't know. He looked good at the beginning of the year, but
It's kind of fell off a little.
kind of fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
And it could just be fatigue because he hasn't played in 5 years. But I don't want to pay 12 million, 8 to
Big
12
money, and
million
then he falls
out.
off. You get what I'm saying? You don't know.
You really don't. Big question.
That's too tricky for me.
Let me ask you this one then. Let's say we could get him for 5 million. It's probably not
I'm
possible.
cool with that.
All right. And William Coulter,
Because I mean, Steven's all about talking about the money, and we already know how he is. So he gonna probably try to undercut him. That's what I feel like he is. But like you said, a 5 million, I'm good with that.
Okay.
No 8, 9, 10. I mean, I'm not even trying to hate on no man's pockets. Like I promise, that's not what I'm coming at. But if you're looking at the dollars and cents where it makes sense, so far you're trying to spread out the money to your players and other things, that just makes the more dollars and cents thing to me.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, so big game, man. We really appreciate your time, giving us almost 2 hours on the bye week. I know you got a lot going on in your universe, so we just appreciate you coming in and just giving us your wisdom and dropping this fire knowledge on us. So before we let you go, let everybody know where they can find you at and when they can watch you.
Check me out on Silver and Blue Nation, my YouTube channel. Just type it in. Also, I got my Silver and Blue Nation Facebook, Big Game James Facebook. Check it out. We just have a good time. Keep the latest updated. Cowboys news. Like to have fun. Also, follow me on Twitter if you like it. Yeah, Exchange. You see the name right there. Just really started going a little bit harder on Twitter, so having a good time with it. But just like to talk that Cowboys football and try to talk the real and try to come as passionate and as honest as I can. Try to bring good guests out there. We're gonna have Kyle Yumas. You guys had him. Y'all know about him. He'll be on the late night hype tomorrow. So just trying to keep it popping. For the Cowboys people out there, and that's what I just try to do for everybody.
Is Kyle giving us draft talk tomorrow? Or
What's that?
Is Kyle gonna give us some draft talk? Because I know he's a big.
He probably is, and I'm gonna try to pull it.
I definitely be watching. So you come on by yourself on Tuesday nights, and then you do late night hype on Thursdays. Is that right? Or do you guys kind of switch?
Yeah. See, like we're usually Tuesdays and the late night hype every night. But we had the bye week. We've been going hard in the paint. Just for shows. You know how it is, just doing shows on the regular. You going hard on the paint and just life on the outside. With this little break with the bye week was good. Hey, the players do it. Sure, these us content people need it too. We get tired too.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, we definitely appreciate you coming in and giving us a few minutes. Most definitely.
Hey, well, I appreciate you guys. Offering me. Like I said, I'm always that I felt grateful that you got in my inbox and asked me. So. Like I said, I'm always grateful to jump in there with guys that are talking Cowboys football and have a good time because it's always a good time we can sit down and talk Cowboys football with people that know the Cowboys like yourself, and that's always like a good time whether you winning or losing.
Yeah, 100%, man. So thanks again. Definitely thanks again for coming on. Just keep killing it out there, man.
Hey, appreciate y'all.
All right, I'll be watching. I'll be in the comments again like I'm always am.
All right, man. Hey, y'all have a great night and be safe.
All right, see you, Big Game.
Peace.
All right, so that was Big Game James joining us tonight. I hope you guys got a lot out of that because I know I definitely did. He brought a lot of knowledge, and I just love his perspective on stuff, for sure.
Yeah. Everything was very well said. Almost, I'd say literally probably like 99.7% of what he said was literally what I was thinking or had in my mind. So I really liked his thoughts on everything.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Lambo, is there anything we didn't cover tonight that you want to talk about in terms of team? I mean, I know we hit a lot, an hour and 50 minutes.
We pretty much went over everything.
Everything, yeah.
Everything. One thing that I still kind of, I'm not too cool on is Andy Dalton coming back starting this week. I do have to kind of say, I don't know. Like, I know he's the vet, but I felt like Gilbert was hot. I would let him keep rolling with it. But, they didn't have tape on Gilbert either. So this week coming up could be a completely different story throwing Gilbert out there with a week of tape on him. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
So we let this man answer the question. Let me ask you this, Lambo. How short of a leash do you think Dalton has?
It's another one of those us versus what the Jones.
That's true.
Like, I don't feel like he's got a leash with them, but I feel like if it was up to us, I'd have him on a short leash. But I feel like he could go out there and throw 3 picks and they won't pull him out of the game. This is kind of where I'm at. I wish I had one, Rosie. I wish I had one. Right now, I just got a cold water.
Everything okay, Lambo? We normally see about 2 or 3 of them get dropped at the end of the show.
Man, the budget's getting tight.
Oh, okay.
The budget's getting tight.
I understand that Christmas is almost a month away, so yeah.
Yeah, my boy's turning 7 November 18th also, so I got the birthday, and then we got Thanksgiving with 2 families we got to host, and then Christmas, and then right after Christmas, my other son's birthday's January 1st, so it's like, whoo, money's getting tight.
Our playoff chance is a lot shorter than that, Lamar. So you said your son's birthday is the 18th. Am I going to be rolling solo next Wednesday night?
Is that the same day?
It's next Wednesday, yeah.
No, I'll be here because we're doing this party. We're doing this party Saturday, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'll be here. He'll be in bed when we start our show, anyways.
Okay, most definitely. All right, so
I'm burning.
All you guys. I hope you guys don't take offense to the fact that I couldn't get to all your questions, but as you can see, Big Game James was going nonstop, just bringing amazing content, giving us some fire knowledge, and we didn't want to mess up his flow. So make sure you guys come back and join us next Wednesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time for the Cowboy Zone, where we will be breaking down the Cowboys versus the Minnesota Vikings coming off the bye week. Before we go, Lambo, do you want to do a pregame show this Sunday? Since even though we're not playing, I mean, if you want to take a Sunday off, that's fine too.
I might take a Sunday off.
Okay,
take a Sunday off.
We'll let you guys know whether or not we do a pregame show this Sunday or not, but we'll definitely be here on Wednesday, November 18th at 8:30 Central Standard Time as we talk about the Cowboys versus the Minnesota Vikings. So before we go, Lambo, hit them with their social media and let them know where they can find you at.
As always, guys, you can hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as Patreon at Cowboys Y'all and Instagram at Cowboys Y'all 88. And most of all, please subscribe on YouTube and hit the little bell. It greatly helps. I'm on that road to 1,000, just trying to get there. Appreciate you guys.
So where are you at right now, Lambo?
Man, honestly, I hit a roadblock. I think I've been stuck on 595 subscribers for like 2 weeks. So
you said 595?
Yeah. I shot up when my fan reaction video went viral. It hit like 100,000 views. And then I shot up a couple hundred or 400 subscribers, and then boom, and it stopped. I'm on 595.
All right, William, we'll be doing bowl predictions and game predictions. So if you get another one right, we'll definitely be able to get you a hoodie. And we're gonna set up a Cowboy Zone shop. I'll probably try to get on it this week so you guys can get some merch. You see, I got my football nerd shirt on tonight. This is created by us. So if you guys like this shirt, we'll be putting that one out as well. Lambo may have a Cowboy Dale shirt or 2 out there, so you guys can get some of that merch to support.
Yeah, definitely gonna get one.
So yeah, for sure. So again, thank you guys for watching. We always appreciate you guys' support. Be sure to join us this Wednesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time, for another episode of the Cowboy Zone. I'm Marcus. This is Lambo. And Lambo, closing words.
We'll see y'all next Wednesday.
All right. See you next Wednesday, guys. We're out.